Their opponent's win percentage just over 400. Their final 9, it's over 600, when they hopefully would have Caitlin back for at least a chunk of those games. So they want to make sure they take advantage where they can at this point in the schedule, as Cardoso starts off with a bucket.
The first set for Chicago, running something to get Camila Cardoso involved, going towards the basket.
Here's Boston against their former teammate, gets denied by Cardoso. Cunningham will fire off on a 3. Sophie Cunningham has been dialed in from 3 of late. Last 6 games shooting at a 58%. Her last 2 games, 8 for 12. Here's Nurse, nice find. Williams unable to finish. Cardoso slapped it alive, but just for a moment, and here comes McDonald.
That was a great pass by Kia Nurse, though, as she recognized 2 defenders went with her.
Howard creeping into the paint, shimmies and travels as Indiana turns it over.
First 2 possessions, Camila Cardoso, we talked about her 6-7 end as well.
Those 2 won a championship together at South Carolina in 2022. Cardoso went on to win another in 2024. Banham connects on a 3.
You can't tell from the camera angle, but sitting here, it's taking a while for the pregame smoke to dissipate in this arena.
There is a palpable haze.
There's a fog.
You are absolutely correct. It feels like a 5 a.m. drive right now at United Center. Knocked away. Here's Boston off the steal. Trying to get it over to Cunningham, needs some help, and Rebecca Allen is finally going to get called for the foul. She was all up into Aaliyah Boston.
Rachel Banham has been dribbles into the shot as well.
She's had 10 straight games of at least 2 made threes as Mitchell splashes in one for Indiana. Cardoso running the floor, gets denied by Boston, returning the favor.
You love to see it, though. A 6'7" player beating all the defense down the floor.
For the offensive player to score there, or a block shot when it's Cardoso against Boston?
I don't know, but did you just see how they were getting into it even before the ball was inbounded?
Those 2 had plenty of practice battles through the years. Here's Howard. Howard, nice move inside, and Elizabeth Williams, the authoritative rejection. Here's Williams. Now trying to work Howard. Good dig from Mitchell. Came with a clean steal. And then gets fouled by Banham in transition. And it'll be a side out of bounds for Indiana.
It's interesting, the Chicago Sky lineup, because of the injuries. They've got basically 2 traditional 5 players. Elizabeth Williams, Camila Cardoso, both kind of, back to the basket 5s that they're playing alongside one another.
Yeah, no Angel Reese in this game, dealing with a back injury on Barbie Day here at United Center. Nice find. Howard to Cunningham. Cunningham might add a layup, passed it up. Mitchell can't hit the 3, and Cardoso the rebound.
Incredible ball movement, though. The quickness by Indiana that last possession.
Mitchell jitters into the paint, leaves it for McDonald, who scoops it in. Good defensive activity here early from Indiana. That's been one of the hallmarks of their 2 previous wins this season against Chicago. They forced Chicago into 20 turnovers per game in those first 2 matchups. Here's McDonald. Howard gives it up. Mitchell a 3 is good. Second 3 of the quarter for Kelsey Mitchell.
And again, when Indiana's at its best offensively, it's not just how many players touch the ball, but how quickly they move it from player to player.
Here's Cardoso. Tossing out. Allen dumps it in. Williams good position and pops it home.
Elizabeth Williams has great length, both defensively and offensively. Uses it there on the little baby hook.
Ends an 8-0 Indiana run. McDonald flings it out. Howard, the runner, is short. Nurse off the rebound, looking to push. Dump it in. Cardoso gets inside, couldn't finish it. Now she does. Good response from Chicago after the run. Mitchell cross court. Cunningham fires. Can't hit.
I know left is Mitchell's strong hand, but that was a ridiculously tough pass that she just delivered to Cunningham.
Here's Nurse. Backs away and buries the jumper as Boston and Mitchell both retreated at the same time.
There's a great flow and pace in this game early.
Despite the smoke.
Or because of it.
Maybe. Mitchell able to drop it in. There are some who say it's actually a performance enhancer, so. That's going to be a foul up top on Indiana.
Kelsey Mitchell just getting
talked about, doesn't want Kelsey Mitchell or really any of her players right now being hesitant. She needs them to be aggressive consistently. It's a double dribble.
Yeah.
As Cardoso turns it over. You know, we mentioned no Angel Reese today for Chicago. She had been on a tear of late. Her last 10 games averaging 17.5 points, 14.5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 50% shooting.
That's the most impressive part to me was the field goal percentage. She was really finding her groove, finding her offense in an efficient way. We know she's always going to rebound.
Michaela Timpson in, Cunningham run off, 6 to shoot, backs it out. Here's Timpson, has it knocked away, fortuitously to Boston, didn't get it off. And it's going to be Chicago basketball in the violation. Good action early, and a 1-point Sky lead.
Road right now.
It's been really impressive to watch a player this deep into her career, 8th season now, continue to ascend as Chicago turns it over for a 6th time already.
And that was because of the defense of Kelsey Mitchell, forcing her offensive player away from the double drag screen. It results in another turnover.
Boston finds the cutter. It's Timpson who lays it in.
And let's talk a little bit more about those turnovers. That's been an issue for Chicago all season long. They lead the WNBA turnovers per game.
The crowd is roaring loud tonight. Hearts are pounding, burning bright and bright. The field's alive, alive. Electric light. We rise, we erupt, we won't back down. This is our moment, this is our ground. Game on, let's take it home. We fight together, we're not alone. Game on, heart and stone.
Here's Marquisha Davis, recently let go by the Liberty, playing in her 2nd game with Chicago. Strong side rebound to hold, just in off the bench for Indiana. So too is Colson. Here's Timpson, the rookie, methodically backing down and finishing over fellow rookie Maddie Westbell.
Timpson's had great activity since she came into this game. She's really been kind of coming into her own the last couple of weeks in her role off the bench.
Banham, who can fire from distance, as we saw at Minnesota in college. Here's Hull, catch, fire. No. And Cardoso, the rebound. Indiana on a 9-0 run. They have a 17-11 lead. Under 2:40 to go in the first. Ooh, big screen from Cardoso, and not a legal one, as Lexi Hull just crumpled to the ground. Mitchell, Timpson, Boston, and Hull the 5 for Indiana. Westbell, Davis, Banham, Williams, and Nurse the 5 for Chicago, as Lexi Hull knocks in the elbow jumper. It is an 11-0 Indiana run. Fever coming off an impressive win the other night against Vegas. Banham catch and shoot 3. That one's off. Rebound, Davis able to save it. Here's Westbell spinning inside. Davis eyes the shot clock, gets it back into the arms of Nurse. Nurse able to separate, but couldn't drop it in. Here comes Boston. Boston already 4 assists in the quarter. Looking for a 5th here. Colson at 3. Rims out. Banham, the fling ahead, and Nurse alone for the leg.
Really good recognition by Kia Nurse just to take off as soon as she saw her teammate corral that board.
That ends the 11-0 run. Here's Mitchell. Flips it in, wide open. Boston on the board with her first bucket of the afternoon.
Kelsey Mitchell just has found her way of knowing exactly when to make the pass, when to look for her own scoring. There's just a certain comfort level now with the basketball in her hands.
And that is another Chicago turnover.
Leah Boston comes out to set the screen for Kelsey Mitchell. These two have gotten so good. Stretched hands, and she delivers it right over.
8 turnovers now for Chicago in this first quarter. They've averaged 20 the first 2 meetings against Indiana. On pace to surpass that. Here's Mitchell. Out to Timpson. Michaela Timpson gets denied by Williams. Hull gives it up. Chloe Bibby able to drain the 3. Recently signed, and the rookie out of Maryland immediately makes her presence felt. Played a few games with the Valkyries earlier this season, including one very productive one against Indiana. A 9th Chicago turnover. Mitchell scoops it in 18-2 Indiana run. And the Fever have a 26-13 lead. Shot clock turned off. Banham hoists, can't hit. Rebound tilts out of bounds with 1 point. Yeah, that's a coach.
That's a coach for you, exactly.
That's right. Stephanie White in her first season back as head coach of the Fever. Our colleague at ESPN as well. Lob it inside. Allen gets hit by Hull. And a foul against Indiana. Hull with her first. Indiana forcing 9 Chicago turnovers in that first quarter. Here's Williams, able to separate just enough to finish. You know, we see Bibby getting some more minutes here for Indiana. I mean, what do you kind of hone in on when it comes to Bibby and how she might fit into the Fever picture right now while Caitlin is out?
Well, certainly another three-point shooter who can space the floor, has great size. We know Indiana likes to switch defensively. She gives them the ability to do that, going from a guard to post switch. I think more than anything, her ability, again, to just hit from deep.
Here's Timpson. Bustling in. The rookie trying to gain position, and a whistle as Timpson will shoot 2. Well, for a little more on that Indiana Fever coaching staff, let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, I was just listening into the huddle, and they have such high-level coaching right now. You just saw Breon January walk out of the picture, but Karima Christmas Kelly, both women who have played and excelled in this league. But zoom in on the man, because Austin Kelly is a fabulous story. He was actually a practice player for the Indiana Fever when Steph White was an assistant there before. He was a high-level Division I football player for Duke. When his eligibility ended there, he decided to go and play Division II basketball. But he has been such a great practice player. Steph said, if I ever get a chance to bring him back, I want to. And it helps that he's also married to Karima Christmas.
Awesome story, though, Holly, for Stephanie White to observe that from Austin as a practice player, and now for it to have turned into him being a key member of her staff. And back here in Indiana now where that relationship began.
Steph missed a few games early in the season for personal reasons, and Austin Kelly was the one who led the charge, including the last time they played Chicago here. I like that he doesn't sit directly next to Karima, though, during the games.
Right. Got to keep it.
Key to any good marriage.
Keep
Put
it.
the buffer in between the husband and the wife.
Who's the buffer in your house between you and Steve?
4 kids.
Yeah, all 4 of them. You know, one of the other things that Stephanie White talked about when it comes to Karima and Bree is how valuable they've been in talking with Caitlin Clark about this injury process. You know, they know what it's like and how frustrating it can be to not be on the floor in this league, and how difficult and finicky a rehab process can be. And she feels like, you know, them being an outlet for Caitlin has been really helpful.
And also, they all played different roles on their teams, whether with a starting star role or coming in off the bench, so can relate to the other players as well, no matter what the role.
I mean, Caitlin's basically an assistant right now, too, right?
Yeah.
After Coach Cece at the All-Star game, although she may want to forget about that performance and result for Team Clark in Indiana. It's a lot of four-pointers for Team Collier.
There were a lot.
Boston wins the tip. Here's Hull, a 30-17 Indiana lead. Boston, who has 5 assists already, will take the jumper. Back iron it off. Long rebound on Onyenwere back. From injury, was questionable to play in this game. No Angel Reese in this one as Cardoso muscles it up and gets the whistle on Boston. That'll be the first on Aaliyah Boston. Camila Cardoso will go to the line. Camila Cardoso in her second year, the 3rd pick of the 2024 WNBA draft. Taking a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. NBA TV tonight. Atlanta at Minnesota. Prime Video Thursday. Washington hosts. New York was on the second half of back-to-back and lost Breanna Stewart in that game. But fantastic performance from LA, and they've just been really good of late.
Yeah, massive performance from Rakia Jackson. Started off the game hot.
The lights out from 3 this season.
Finally a healthy year for Mary Stevens.
Phantom unable to finish, but the follow is good for Cardoso, and Stephanie White wants a timeout. Nice little push here from Chicago. In for that matchup. Here is Mitchell, not that time. Rebound ends up in the arms of Cardoso, her 6th.
Chicago Sky in a zone again, effective on that possession. And Ryan, I'm going to ask you a question. I don't know if you know the answer.
Okay.
The biggest NBA arena, what is it?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question. There's not a ton of variability, so I don't know. McDonald off the steal, will lay it in. There's a chance it is this building.
Okay.
Like, if you told me you got to answer go, I would actually say United Center, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't even know that I'm 48% sure about that.
And I would never ask you a question and say, got to answer go.
Yeah, no. I also appreciate that the things you put me on the spot about are things that I can reasonably still feel good about myself if I get wrong publicly.
Yes.
So it is indeed United Center. The capacity is 20,917. Free throws here for Indiana. Now, 8 autographs that she signed. Well, today signed over 200 autographs. Was out for a long period of time, signing for fan after fan. So trying to make sure, that she still is accessible to the fans here and helps create memories for so many of them. And when she does interact with them and sign with them, it really is amazing to see. Once again, Fisher Plummer, our outstanding tape op, has been counting those autographs to give us those numbers. Cunningham got bumped. We'll go back to the line to shoot 2. And Sophie, give it a little smile to the fans in the front row as Rebecca Allen picks up her 3rd.
But it's been tougher for Indiana to get some of the easy looks going against the Chicago zone instead, trying to clog up the paint a bit.
Sophie Cunningham yet to score in this game, but we were talking to her earlier, and the way she's been playing of late, which you look at her numbers over these last 6 games, averaging nearly 14 points, 61% shooting, 58% from 3. She said this is what she was expecting this year. I mean, maybe she doesn't shoot that well all year, but she's just felt great. She got herself in the best shape of her life. In camp, was really humming, and Indiana was so excited about her, and then she hurt her ankle in the preseason, and when she came back, she really wasn't all the way full bloom physically, and it took a while for her to get back to the spry way she feels now, and we're seeing the results.
Yeah, and certainly seeing the confidence born from all the work that she put in the offseason with the way she's been shooting the basketball.
3 team fouls on Chicago already this quarter, 4 already on Indiana. Here's Banham. Looking inside, Cardoso working Boston. Cardoso able to hook it in. That's a difficult shot from Camila Cardoso to finish over Boston.
Even when she's dribbling the basketball, earlier matchups this season, they would send a second. They aren't today, letting Aaliyah Boston just handle it, making sure that there's no open looks from 3 out of a pass from Cardoso.
Cardoso has the last 6. Oh, nice fake. Howard unable to finish. Cardoso another rebound, her 7th. Here's Banham. Banham sees Westbell in the corner. The 3 won't go from Onyenwere. And here comes Mitchell blasting down the floor. Cunningham's 3 off. 13-point Indiana lead. Chicago has struggled to score in every meeting this season against Indiana. Good movement here. Banham. Oh, yeah. Got a nice.
Great dribble penetration and then pass to the corner, extra pass up top. Got the open look for Banham.
Nice cut from Mitchell, but then traveled. Probably should have gone up straight with it.
She was caught betwixt and between scoring and laying it off for a teammate here. Paint touch, spray to the corner, the one more pass up top.
Right.
Dad, I've
That's
just
right.
been keeping it alive.
Right. I'm glad that you are following up Becky's good work. Cardoso muscles in, and a whistle on Boston. That'll be her 2nd. Free throws here for Camila Cardoso.
It's working. Keep going there, right? Get the ball into Camila Cardoso, make things hard for Aaliyah Boston, make her work hard defensively. Hope that takes some out of her going on the other end offensively.
Holly?
Well, you know, there was a time where Camila and Aaliyah were going up against each other in practice all the time at South Carolina because Camila was coming in off the bench on that team when Aaliyah was a starter. But I asked Camila today before the game, do you have an advantage today because you know her game so intimately? And she said, actually, she's evolved a lot. Camila has noticed how Aaliyah Boston's game has changed and grown. And so she knows this is one of her toughest matchups for the games when they play Indiana.
And right now, Cardoso answering the bell really nicely. 12 points, 7 rebounds. Bibby again. How about the stroke of Chloe Bibby? 2 for 2 off the bench from 3.
Especially against the zone. This smaller lineup for Indiana when you have Bibby on the floor as a spacer. Nice take by Elizabeth Williams. Both Bibby and Sophie Cunningham, your 3 and 4, can both drain from 3.
Bibby fakes this one. Cunningham dumps it in. Here's Boston. Boston has it poked away. Guarded by Cardoso. Help coming, and a whistle against Chicago. Be the 4th team foul against the Sky. See what she does. That foul, by the way, the 3rd on Williams. So 3 on Allen, 3 on Williams. Boston unable to hit. 9-point Indiana lead. Chicago's done a nice job in this quarter. Able to trim away a little bit at the deficit. Bibby knocks it away, and it's going to stay with Chicago. The WNBA thanks its changemaker partners, Ally 8.
Did it exactly on this date in history. So I'm very proud of you both right now.
All right. Let's see.
I think you're right.
That's correct.
Well, either all be right or all wrong.
Yeah, we're in it together.
Yeah.
It's the kind of camaraderie and teamwork we have here.
That's right.
I mean, we did go on a lovely 58-minute walk this morning together.
We did.
All around Lake Michigan. Cardoso unable to flip it in, but again, Chicago going back to it. Boston then gets tied up. That's going to be a jump ball. All right, let's answer the Aflac trivia question. Who recorded the first triple-double in WNBA history? It was just after the success she's had. Here's Banham. Dumping it inside, knocked away by Boston. That is the 12th turnover from Chicago. Indiana has 8 themselves, a fairly high number. Here's McDonald, lost it. Tracks it back down. Off to Boston. Backdoor, Mitchell the cut, and the finish. Tough bucket from Kelsey Mitchell, who goes down in pain. The Indiana bench was immediately wondering how that was not an and one, and Mitchell kind of grabbing at her groin. We know that's what Caitlin Clark is already out with. And Lexi Hall is going to come for 6. Fever lead is back to 13 with 2:19 to go in this first half. Third meeting of the season between these teams. Indiana's won the first 2 handily against Chicago. Westbell fading and dropping it in. Nice move from the rookie.
Really nice move because Bibby played solid defense that entire possession. Just really good fade on the mid-range jumper.
Here's Boston facing up and draining the jumper. 4 points for Boston. She has 6 assists and 5 rebounds in this first half. Kelsey Mitchell leads the way with 15 points. Camila Cardoso, 12 points, 7 boards. Cardoso couldn't finish the layup. Here's McDonald. Off to Bibby, catch, fire, not that time. Hold the offensive rebound, another chance for Indiana. How about McDonald? No. Hull, another chance at an O board, and going to be a tie up there with Westbeld and Hull after Lexi Hull getting real aggressive on the offensive glass. Leg issues,
yeah.
Soft tissue issues.
No,
I guess that would be the upper leg, not the lower leg, but you get the point.
I do. I'm going to go back to the offensive rebounding by Lexi Hull. It is a joy to watch her. Just like the second a shot goes up and she knows it's coming off the rim, she just pursues it. She goes into space. She gets there quickly. She just desperately wants to get those O boards, and it pays off.
Here's McDonald. Off to Boston. She got it. Not another jumper. Boston 6 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists in this first half. And that is going to be a whistle against Indiana and Sophie Cunningham. Hey, coming up on the WNBA halftime presented by State Farm, Mitchell lights up Chicago. Malika, Drea, Monica, and Carolyn Peck in the studio for you. Stacked deck today.
They're one short of playing 5-on-5.
That's right.
Well, as long as they got a whole other team, but you get the point.
Also, can I just make some, promo notes for our network? Without, we don't need any fancy card to go with it. Tomorrow night on ESPN, we have the Liberty at the Wings, which Paige is having an amazing rookie season. We know how well the defending champs have been playing the Liberty. By the way, Sabrina Ionescu is on her way to first team all WNBA. Then Wednesday, we have the first finals rematch of the season between New York and Minnesota. That'll be on ESPN Wednesday night.
Incredible that it's not till July 30th.
Yes.
Those two teams meet for the first time.
It really is crazy. We're going to have one of their other meetings as well in August, I believe August 10th. But, can't wait to see those teams go at it. Obviously, it seems like New York's likely to not have Brianna Stewart in that game, but they do have Jonquel Jones back. Expecting Emma Meesum in at some point once she gets her visa worked out. Really excited to see the Liberty and the Lynx as Boston hits both free throws. Here's Banham firing away and knocking it down. Rachel Banham with her 11th straight game of at least 2 made threes, second longest streak in franchise history. Only Allie Quigley had a longer one as McDonald blurs to the bucket.
Oh, it started with a beautiful left to right crossover, and then she just navigated the paint with ease.
10 points for Ari McDonald. Done such a nice job since joining the Fever midseason. Westbeld gives it up. Banham launches and hits again. Rachel Banham has that kind of exciting flair to her game. She can get hot in a hurry. Shot clock turned off. 14 from Banham. She has 4 threes on the day. Here's McDonald, 2 seconds. McDonald at the horn. Can't drop it in, that'll do it.